Some of you may know me, and a lot of you have never heard of me. My name is Key. For the past 6 to 7 years, I streamed on Twitch almost daily and found very little growth. This isn't a video about bashing Twitch or anyone who decides to stay on the platform. This is a video about who I am, the journey I experienced, and what I plan on doing moving forward. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Key. This is a shorter version of my original Xbox 360 gamertag, Key Wielder. I grew up playing a lot of video games. It was an escape, it was fun, it was exciting, it was new. I didn't think that streaming video games to strangers would be a good idea until I was unable to play video games. Thus, I discovered the Twitch universe. To say watching Twitch streamers inspired me to stream is a stretch of the real truth. For the real inspiration, we must go back to around the years of 2007 to 2008. A young Key watches a movie called Private Parts. Private Parts is a come-up story of one of the greatest radio hosts of all time, Howard Stern. Watching Private Parts as a teenager gave me inspiration to want to broadcast myself, as Howard Stern went through the trials of becoming who he was for just wanting to be himself on the radio. Now, part of me wanted to go into the radio industry, but I had no idea on how to begin that process. It was almost a sign for me to watch the biggest movie about broadcasting, and the video website that started to grow had a slogan of "Broadcast Yourself." I would begin to make little commentary videos about nothing, playing with editing, basic visual effects, and being goofy. It was fun. I wanted to entertain, make people laugh, and see some feedback in any way. Nothing would come of my early YouTube video attempts, so I would go to delete the videos. Now fast forward to October of 2014 and I tore my ACL and I was unable to do most activities. After surgery for my ACL, I wouldn't be able to sleep most nights. With insomnia kicking in and being unable to play video games, I found Twitch to be my go-to website to watch any gameplay. Two main streamers I found at the time were Trihex and Cheese. Cheese plays Super Mario 64, and I found it so fascinating that people would come chime in and watch him play. Trihex was streaming the latest Mario game at the time, and it was Mario Maker for the Wii U. Watching Trihex beat multiple levels with ease and having a lot of people cheering him on, challenging him, or we all laugh at some fail moment or joke, it was a light bulb moment for me. I love broadcasting, and I love video games. I could do both. When I was in recovery, I wanted nothing more than to start streaming and bring this joy to other people. After battling for jobs and trying to fix my own financial position, I would end up saving enough money to build my very own PC. Eagerly waiting to stream on my first Friday evening, I didn't know what to stream or what to expect. I was getting into the game Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I decided that is what I will stream. And when I started my first stream, and by the time it was over, no one showed up. It's a disheartening feeling when you're live streaming and there is a number that shows you how many people are there. And that number is either a 0 or a 1. And the 1 is your channel counting itself. I told myself, well, maybe no one knew I was live. So how would they know to come by? I wouldn't let this one empty stream stop me from trying to build a new community for bringing a positive gaming atmosphere into people's lives. To this day, I have no clue on how to become a top streamer. There are so many videos on top 10 things to do to help you become a top streamer. A lot of them say the same thing. Some key concepts are: be consistent, set up a schedule, collaborate with other streamers, be positive with a good attitude. Another tip was to talk while no one is there, so if people do show up, whatever you're saying is going to keep them watching. I would try this, but would end up repeating a lot of the stories to no one, and people would not stick around. If anything, people would become confused as coming into a story halfway through, and I would have to repeat myself. I understand the concept of the idea is to engage the audience, but if no one is present during your streams, you go comfortable being alone. Hearing the tips did help me understand the importance of consistency and scheduling. If you have a schedule and people are on the website around that time, then they know they can stop by. Consistency is easy as I wasn't going anywhere. I set up a schedule to stream Sunday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and also decided to log my streams by giving them episode numbers. To me, this was a nice way to close people's nights out, come wind down, watch some gameplay and interact and talk about our days. For the first month, I would stick to the schedule and see some engagement. At this time, I was excited to stream as well because the sequel to the game that inspired me to stream was released. This game was Mario Maker 2. While streaming the new Mario Maker and sticking to the schedule, growth was surely inevitable. I would notice with time that for some reason Friday night streams yielded hardly any or no engagement, and with that I changed the schedule to Sunday to Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there it is. I set up a schedule, I was consistent, and I was being positive as I would play random Mario Maker levels or submitted levels. I was living the dream. I think after 3 weeks of Mario Maker 2, I didn't feel challenged. I felt like the skill in Mario Maker 2 isn't really skill, as it was a button input memorization test for each level. Don't get me wrong, there are amazing tech skills in Mario Maker games and Mario ROM hacks. I didn't get the excitement from the tech skill in the game as much as other people did, but it was cool to see someone beat a Panga level or some crazy Mario Kaizo stuff, and it just wasn't for me. I made the decision to change the game, and I would stream games I found interesting or fun. I would stream everything from Super Smash Bros. Melee, Crash Bandicoot, Donkey Kong, and even some Call of Duty. Only when I exhausted all efforts in other games, I decided to stream a game I truly found entertaining, called Spelunky HD. Spelunky HD is a roguelike 2D platformer, meaning every time you play the game from the beginning, it is a different game. In comparison to a regular 2D platformer like Super Mario, where the game is the same every time, the game Spelunky takes your idea of danger in a video game and exploits it to a comedic extent. A simple mistake can lead to your ultimate demise, coining a phrase in the Spelunky community called getting spelunked. No! Spelunky is a game that kept on giving well after the life of it was over. It has challenge, a good soundtrack, and feels like there are secrets even if you have discovered everything in the game. One day, while I was browsing YouTube, I found one of the greatest Spelunky players I've ever seen. I wasn't keeping up with who was the best players on the game or what the world records were. All I was given was a crazy title with Spelunky gameplay. The title was something like No Whip Run or 1 HP Run, and I can't really remember the actual title of the first video I watched. But seeing this as a Spelunky player, I was in awe. How could someone play the game without using one of the key components in it? I went through this stranger's channel and saw that he did a lot of challenge runs and was successful, and I admired it. Before streaming one day, I went to the Spelunky directory on Twitch, and to my surprise, the legend himself was streaming. I was excited to not only meet someone who has the same interest in the game as I did, but was also good at it. Little did I know that this would be the beginning of one of the greatest friendships I have come to know. Spelunky 2 would come out in the fall of 2020, and given my active presence in the Spelunky HD directory and my new friendship with another streamer, I had more hope and growth in my streaming venture. We were more excited to play the game and find all the secrets and tricks that made the prequel so much fun. The game would come off as a skill test as more than anything else. The game has 3 endings. The first ending, which is around 18 levels, the second had 24 levels with some in-game quests, and the third ending, which felt like a screw you to the casual players. Not in the sense of you can't do it, but more in the sense of if you want to beat this game, you better cancel your dinner plans and sleep schedule, because the third ending would take you a grueling 94 levels of random hell. Given this challenge, I would gladly face it, and after 2 months of the game's release, I believe I was in the group of the first 20 people to beat 799. We're okay. We have one more. There it is. Is that it? Let's fucking go! After the hype of Spelunky 2 died, myself and some hardcore fans of the franchise would stick around and continue to play it. The longevity of the game itself would be its own demise. People would enjoy playing the prequel for hours, but not the sequel for many reasons. The payoff in Spelunky HD is that you can get multiple runs done and complete the game in different ways, as opposed to the second iteration where you're stuck in one game for potential hours and one mistake can ruin your run. All that time and effort gone, as if the developers made some weird form of long-form torture. With the challenge of $7.99 completed, I would go to try on other game challenges and would grind out the journey of those on stream. Growth never really happened during the Spelunky era, and I would begin to look to other games again. Around this time, I would start looking for new games to play or different games. I would get into streaming Tetris, Rocket League, or in other small games I would try. Tetris was fun, but people can only watch someone play with blocks for so long. The challenges for that game was to beat the journey mode in under a certain time, which I achieved, and I can still be pushed to a quicker time, but again, blocks can be so entertaining. Rocket League has become my new favorite game, as it encapsulates almost everything I enjoy. I grew up playing and watching sports. Add a vehicle that can perform acrobats and plus a soccer ball, the outcomes are limitless. I liked the game when I first started, but I fell in love with the game when my friend Crep went for a crazy ceiling shot that I didn't even think was possible, and this became my new challenge. Crep was one of the first people I met on Twitch while playing Spelunky HD. He would also become one of my greatest friends to this day. He inspired me to want to improve at the game and would coach me on how to look at it differently. I began to stream this, and at this moment I didn't care about growth. I only cared about improvement, but would still try to bring a positive environment to people who watched, but now with the emotion of winning and losing. During my time on Twitch, the site has been on a downward spiral. It seems like Twitch was always doing something in a negative light. I never truly cared because I was just a small streamer and none of these things really applied to me. Being the lowest on the totem pole, you only observe the changes and watch bigger streamers complain about them. I started on Twitch because that is where people would go to watch gamers stream. Then it felt like it got taken over by something else. If people got banned, it felt like some of the rules applied more to certain people over others with no real consequences. Getting acquired by Amazon felt like it should have been a good thing, but has only been a way to shove Amazon-based ads everywhere. There have been pay structure changes to streamers, and not that it affects me, but it just shows where the mindset of the platform is. Twitch has had some very popular streamers on their website, and they always end up losing them. Twitch doesn't seem to care about their people that helped build a site or bring the traffic and can do nothing to keep them, when other websites are offering deals for those streamers to come to their site. Ludwig went to YouTube, and XQC went to Kick. Twitch doesn't care about you or its streamers. Also, the way the platform is designed, you hardly get promoted onto new viewers. It is harder to be discovered or found on Twitch. These are just some of the core reasons I am done with the website. Clearly, the logical choice of where I want to stream now is going to be on YouTube. I feel like I should have started here to begin with. Maybe all those years ago, if I had kept my original YouTube channel, things would be different. But I know I always end up coming back to this site. If it's for podcasts, funny videos, or gaming tutorials, YouTube has always had the answers, and I'm excited to add to it. I put everything I had into my streams, when it was for gaming, a new challenge, or trying something completely different, which is what I plan to do here. I enjoyed my time on Twitch as I met some of the coolest people there, from streamers to viewers to my new friends. I hope that I can achieve even more here. I truly enjoy making or streaming content. It's a medium where you can see emotion. You can see someone change or grow right before your eyes. As I never give up on my dreams, I will continue to put in as much effort for my new venture on this platform. There are so many things that I want to say and can't possibly fit 7 years of streaming into this one video. All I'll say is that if you supported me throughout my Twitch streams or my seldom YouTube uploads, know that I noticed every time and I appreciated it more than you can imagine. Finally, if you took the time to listen and watch the story of mine, thank you. I look forward to broadcasting here.